everyone, Niklsun here, and welcome to Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. I'm your host, and on this show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we'll be going over all of the day's movie news, as well as going over what it means for the production in general, such as casting decisions, trailer announcements, director announcements, things like that. So, without any further ado, let's get started with today's Hot Topics. With it being the holiday season, fewer and fewer news stories are going to be coming out, especially in lieu of the Sony attacks, or the Sony hack, I should say, and the supposed attacks that are going to be happening. Before I get into my main story, I just wanted to say this one thing. Don't listen to those supposed terrorists that are going to be bombing or destroying or attacking every screening of that movie. First off, it's ludicrous that it's about a friggin' film. Second off, the movie has already been screened to people. They are not doing anything by threatening everybody to go and see it. People have already seen it. So they've already failed. So don't believe them. Don't listen to anything like that because they're full of garbage. They are full of shit. And yeah, just don't believe them. If you want to see the movie, go and see the movie. From what I have heard, it is funny. It's kind of stupid, but it's funny. I mean, like, just watch the Red Band trailer and think back on how you think that this could be a movie about terrorism. I mean, there is specifically a joke in there about Matthew McConaughey. So yeah, don't listen to these threats. The only thing that they're willing to do, or that they are going to do, is release more information. That's it. They're not going to release any attacks. They're not going to, bomb anybody or anything like that. So don't listen to them. If you want to go and see the movie, go and see the movie. Okay. So with that being said, and the holiday season upon us, there's not that many news stories that are coming out. So today's episode is going to be fairly small. Friday's episode most likely will be only one story. I will not have an episode next week. And then I will have one episode the week after. I believe that is the week of New Year's. I will only have the one episode, which is going to be, if you guys have watched the episode and brought in your questions and comments about who will win Best Picture. So I'll be addressing all of those on the week of New Year's, but that'll be the only episode that week. There will not be an episode next week, because it's, Christmas and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just letting everybody know about that. But also, just to reiterate on the Best Picture race, I went and saw Birdman again for the second time last night, and I don't know how that movie can't win. I really don't. After seeing all of the movies in contention, except for Selma, I really don't know how that movie can't win. I can't see it. It is just a feat. It is mesmerizing. The one thing, I do think that Edward Norton might get beat out by J.K. Simmons in Whiplash. That is the two that are going head to head right now. Because Edward Norton is fantastic in this movie. He is so good. He's so funny. Like the scene with him and Naomi Watts in the bed was just hysterical. Even though it's a little bit horrifying when you actually think about what is happening, but the way that if you understand his character, the character that he's playing, that's why it's a dark comedy, but still. But yeah, I wanted to get your guys' opinions on what you think is going to win Best Picture. So let me know about that. And I'll be covering that on, I believe that will be the 28th or the 29th of December. So whatever that Monday is, I'll be covering it on that day. But let's get into today's main story. So I only have two topics to talk about today. The first one, we officially have our Amanda Waller. And Amanda Waller will be played by none other than Viola Davis. Now, Viola Davis was one of the three names that was rumored when the role was first talked about 2 weeks ago or so, whenever the official casting was released. And out of all the choices, I thought that Oprah Winfrey would have been a nice choice to go with. It's really off the wall, but she is a great performer. But Viola Davis is by no means a step down. By no means a step down. She is a fantastic actress. Just look at her wide array of films that have just come out over the past couple of years alone, not to mention the ones that came out before that. But she has been elevating her career in such a way that joining a project like this, at first glance, you look at it and you say Suicide Squad. Well, first off, that sounds a little bit ridiculous. And I don't mean ridiculous as in stupid. I mean, it's kind of out there. It's a weird kind of story. But then on top of that, you look at the cast that they have. And they have Academy Award winner Jared Leto. They have Academy Award nominee Will Smith. I believe, no, Tom Hardy is not an Academy Award nominee yet, but he is very likely to be. They have Margot Robbie, who just came off of Wolf of Wall Street. She has Focus coming out, which might be hit or miss. It looks like it might be okay, but I do like her chemistry with Will Smith in the movie. And then she has Tarzan coming out as well. You got Cara Delevingne, who is fairly newcomer, but still, I mean, she looks pretty. And from my understanding, being surrounded by this cast is only going to do positive things to her career. But then on top of that, you have Jai Courtney, who I personally believe has just not been given a good shot yet. I don't think he's been given very good roles to work with. There's not a lot of content to really work with. That being said, usually certain good actors can even take a bad role and make it better. So say that from what you will, but at the end of the day, he still was Spartacus's best friend on the TV show Spartacus. And he was, even though he had his goofy yellow hair, his goofy blonde curly hair, he still was a fantastic actor on that show. And that last fight between him and Spartacus was just breathtaking. Like it was just great. But having all of those people involved, now adding Viola Davis in a movie directed by David Ayer, who's also co-written the script. He did a rewrite on the script. I mean, this right now just has all the shapings of being a great film. There's a lot of people out there that I know of that are starting to get more excited about this movie than they are Batman v Superman, although I don't know how that's possible because you have the two most popular superheroes in history teaming up together. Well, fighting and then teaming up together. And if any of the leaked story details that have come out are true, we're in for one hell of an action-packed Batman v Superman. I'm not going to talk about them because they're potentially spoilers, and I don't want to perpetuate that. So I inadvertently clicked a link and saw it and now kind of regret it. But still, I am really looking forward to that movie. If that's any indication, I'm really looking forward to Batman v Superman. I think it's going to be one hell of a great film. But yeah, I mean, Suicide Squad, DC looks like they are all in. They are going full speed ahead on their DC cinematic universe. And you got to hand it to them. They have recruited one hell of a cast for this movie. I mean, just take into account the fact that these actors, specifically Jared Leto and Will Smith. Will Smith is known, and I've said this before, Will Smith is known as not really being that much of a team player. He is kind of in it for himself, and whatever himself feels will be the lead role, with him signing on to an ensemble film. I think that he is going to be sharing the spotlight with Tom Hardy. I think those two are going to be the ones that are going to be going head-to-head for the leadership. I'm not the only one who thinks that. There are other people who think that, but still. You have Jared Leto, who this is his first acting gig after winning the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He had his pick of the litter. He could have chosen anything, and he chose the Joker. That, to me, shows confidence in this property. Take note, Fox. This is what you do with Fantastic Four. Not only do you get a great cast, but you show confidence in the film. They are showing confidence in a movie that is coming out a year exactly after your film. And we already know a lot more information about this movie than we do yours. So, my little teeny tiny rant about Fantastic Four for this week is done. I hope that we get something about that film. I am really starting to get nervous about the film. Even though it doesn't come out till August, they still have a lot of time. But we haven't got anything from them yet, official. Anything. Not even the official title. We don't know if it's actually called Fantastic Four, or if it's The Fantastic Four, or if it's Fantastic Four subtitle, or whatever the case is. We don't know the official title. We don't have the logo. I'm done. I'm not talking about Fantastic Four right now. I'm just getting nervous about that property. But when it comes to this, I mean, Amanda Waller, getting Viola Davis in there, Amanda Waller will act like a Nick Fury type character in the DC Cinematic Universe. Now, we don't know if she's going to be in any future films. Clearly, she's going to be, unless they're going to kill her off in this movie, which I doubt they would. She's such a strong character in the DC universe. She's not confirmed to be signed on for more than one film. But I can't see them getting a character like Amanda Waller, casting somebody like Viola Davis, the talent that Viola Davis is, and only signing her for one film. There's got to be more in there. We just don't have any official confirmation on that. So I could see her showing up in a potential Suicide Squad 2 if they were to do a sequel. Potentially even either the Batman or Superman standalone films. I could definitely see her popping up in Justice League, and I can definitely see her popping up in Green Lantern. So there are a couple of films right there. So at least 3 more that we are pretty sure that she's going to show up in. Justice League 1 and 2 and Green Lantern are my picks, at least, for where I could see her picking up. But filming is expected to begin in April in Toronto. And the movie is right now scheduled for an August 5th, 2016 release date. If we do get more information about this topic, I will definitely update you guys on here. Pirates of the Caribbean is a franchise that has kind of been an oddity in Hollywood. Well, not really an oddity. Much like the Transformers franchise, each film gets worse and worse in quality, yet makes more and more money at the box office. On Stranger Tides was the most critically reviled film of the franchise, yet it made the most money. So, I mean, Disney sees that as saying, it works, people want to watch this. Even though the critics don't like it, people really like to see it, so we're going to keep doing more. I don't really know if I like what I'm hearing about Dead Men Tell No Tales, which is the official title of Pirates of the Caribbean 5, but Jeff Nathanson is writing the script, which really has me excited because he wrote Catch Me If You Can. You have the Kon-Tiki directors, Johan Ronning and Espen Sandberg. And Kon-Tiki, if you guys haven't seen it, I believe it's on Netflix, but if you haven't seen it yet, you got to check that movie out. It's fascinating. But with a team like that, they have pushed the release date. It originally was scheduled for 2015. They pushed it to 2016. Then 2016 was getting too close, and then they pushed it to 2017. They are taking their time with this movie. So there are things about it that are starting to reinvigorate confidence in me in this project. But then they kind of retread the same territory. So Javier Bardem is confirmed to be joining the cast as a vengeful ghost. I can't remember the name, if they've released the name of the character. But Brenton Thwaites, who was recently in The Giver, was signed on about a month ago or so, maybe a little bit longer than that, as the Orlando Bloom type character. Now they are doing an actress hunt for the female lead, which will be the Keira Knightley role. I'm not saying that they are recasting those roles. They are just the placeholders, like how Sam Claflin and I can't even remember her name, the mermaid on Stranger Tides. They were filling in for the same type of roles that Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley had. These are going to be the same. So you have Kaya Scodelario from Maze Runner. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Gabriella Wilde from Three Musketeers. Alexander Dowling from the Musketeers TV show. Jenna Thiem from The Returned, and Lucy Boynton from Copperhead. Now, I'm only familiar with Gabrielle Wilde because I unfortunately watched Paul W. Anderson's version of The Three Musketeers and how god awful of a movie that was. That was one of the movies that I waited until till Blu-ray to watch, and I almost shut it off. Like, not even just walking out of a theater. I will, if I'm in a theater, I generally speaking will stick it through. I don't think I've ever actually walked out of a film. I come close. This year I came close with Transcendence because I fell asleep a couple of times, but that movie was god awful. She was not very good in it, but she's pretty. And I personally think that that's where the studio is going. They're going to rest the comedic and action sequences on Brenton Thwaites and Johnny Depp. Those are the two characters in the movie that they're going to be resting the action sequences on. They're going to have the cutaways to the beautiful landscape and the pretty girl to the actress who is going to be playing this female lead. Now, there's been another rumor that came out that Orlando Bloom has said that there have been discussions about Pirates 5 and how it would be kind of a soft reboot dealing with me and my son and stuff like that. I don't think that's true. I really don't, because Disney looks at it and says, well, the fourth one was critically panned. It made the most money because people wanted to see Jack Sparrow. People want to see Johnny Depp as that character. Well, you don't take the next installment in your franchise and get rid of the one thing that people are actually going to see. What you do is you understand the things that work in the film, the things that people really do want to see, and you work the best script that you can with those characters involved. If you have to lower their inclusion, that's fine. If you make the best story and the best script that is possible while still including those moments that people are hoping for and wanting, then you have a successful movie. If you just retread the same things, you're not going to have a successful movie, or at least a successful continuation of your franchise. And that's one thing that I hope that the Pirates series is understanding. They have Javier Bardem as the bad guy, which to me is a good choice, but they also had Ian McShane as Blackbeard on Stranger Tides, and even he wasn't all that great in the movie. So Well, I mean, part of the problem I had, at least with Stranger Tides, was that they had Rob Marshall direct it, who was a director of musicals, and you could tell that the fight sequences were choreographed by somebody who is used to doing dance, because it was a dance. And to me, it stood out like a sore thumb to me, and that's why I did not get behind that movie. I think that there was possibility in that movie for it to work. I think that it could have been a fairly intriguing film, but it was, to me personally, it was the wrong director. He had the wrong eye for that film. Rob Marshall's a great director, don't get me wrong. Even though I don't really like musicals, I can see that he has a very good eye for how to set up a shot, how to set up scenes and all that kind of stuff, how to work with actors, blocking, everything like that. But this was the wrong genre for him. It did not work because he took his dance sensibilities and put it into fight choreography, and that did not work. It backfired. At least to me, it backfired. So with Kentucky directors, they have really no experience with action, but I'm not that concerned about that, because again, I keep repeating this on the show. The studios will find the people who are best capable at providing story and character development. They will surround them with the best people in each field to make sure that their final product is the best product it could be. Especially with a tentpole movie like Pirates, they're going to throw as much money as they can at this property. Now, they're going to try to be conservative, absolutely. They're not going to try to be like Sony, allowing the Spectre budget to go above $300 million. I mean, good God, why? Why? I mean, even in Skyfall, there was a sequence, and I was discussing this with a friend the other day, but in Skyfall, there was a sequence in the movie, or the movie itself, I believe the budget was $200 and some million for Skyfall, and I had, like, where did it go? Like, you can't see it on the screen. And he brought up a good point that it could have been about getting the rights to utilize that island that they were on with all the statues and stuff. Or other aspects of the film like that. But still, how can a Bond movie be almost as expensive as friggin' Avatar? Like, seriously, this is before P&A. This is just the production budget. And P&A on that movie is going to be probably at least another $50 to $60 million. Now, they're probably banking on the fact that Skyfall made $1 billion, and this one's probably going to follow suit or come close, so they're willing to throw a little bit more money into it. But still, I mean, Bond is not really about, at least outside of the Pierce Brosnan movies, Bond is not really about big spectacle action. It's about good inherent character development and working that into the action sequences. And that's why the action sequences work better in those films, because you care about the characters, even though you know that nothing's going to happen to Bond. He's been around for 50 years already. So you don't have to worry about that all that much, but still. I mean, when you get somebody when you get directors who can really focus on character development and be able to explain to people, this is what I want to see, and get those people to be able to provide that, that is the best case scenario, because that's when you get Guardians of the Galaxy. That's when you get Captain America Winter Soldier. That's when you get these amazing action films from directors who people thought wouldn't work. They wouldn't be able to do it. But it did work. Why? Because at the end of the day, you cared about the characters. These guys were new, which meant that they had new takes on action sequences. They had new ways about shooting an action sequence, making it look a little different. That's why you get the range of a director like this. Somebody who can work with customers. Somebody who can work with characters, who can help develop that and work with that. So that's just where I think that they could go with it. As it stands right now, Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales is going to be opening up on July 7th, 2017. But if we do get more information about this topic, I will definitely update you guys on here. Well, that'll about do it for us here on Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have been a great audience. Go ahead and click the subscribe button there in the bottom corner. You can get updates whenever we post a new video. You can also follow me on Twitter at Niklsun, Niklsun, for all of your movie updates. And also give us a like on our Facebook page at facebook.com/movie news with Niklsun. If you guys ever have a topic or a question you'd like to have talked about on the show, go ahead and put a comment in the comments section, or you can go ahead and email us at movienewswithniklsun@gmail.com. We'll try to get to as many as we can on every Friday episode. But until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.